Here's 7 different ways that anyone can practice the law of attraction so that they can attract anything that they want. Hey there, my friend. I'm Super Sid, the business shaman, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Life Coach Launch School. The law of attraction is a popular term, and it's something that not only people have been talking about for years, but for centuries and even thousands of years. And ultimately, the law of attraction is proven to work in legends and proven to work in the modern day. But how can we have law of attraction work for us? In this video, I'm going to go over 7 different ways that we practice the law of attraction and how anybody can practice the law of attraction simply every single day at their home. Let's get into it. Before we go into this video, I want to make something very, very clear about our belief when it comes to the law of attraction. Yes, the law of attraction and manifestation might begin with a thought, but there are many things that have to happen after that thought. And we're going to be talking about those things today. But if you've ever read a book maybe called The Secret, or you've watched, a documentary around how you can just sit there and sing Kumbaya and just say, I want this thing, and magically it's going to drop in your lap. That is not what we are going to be talking about in this video, but we are going to be talking about how the law of attraction, right, is real, and how someone can go out there and practice it every single day so they can attract anything and everything it is that they want directly to them. All right, so first thing we need to do to basically start practicing the law of attraction simply every single day in our lives is we got to stop relying on luck. There are many people out there that believe that some people are luckier than others, and that ultimately some people have this special luck or this special thing that they simply do not have. And I can assure you that that is not the case. There is way too many stories out there of people who have defied the odds and went out there and not relied on luck, not relied right on specific God-given talents that help put them in a position. There's too many stories out there of people who just did not rely on that luck and went out there and attracted everything that they wanted. Now, what it is that we want to look at besides luck is understanding that to attract the things that it is that we want, we are going to have to every single day start becoming that type of person that is going to receive those things. So this is going to be with things like our attitude and with the actions that we take upon every single day. By becoming the thing that it is that we want to attract and becoming the person that is going to take to attract that thing every single day, we're going to find that it's not going to be luck that's going to attract it, but it's going to be the everyday actions that we take that's going to start attracting everything that it is that we want. All right, so that leads us into our second way of being able to practice the law of attraction, which is to be focusing on exactly what it is that we want. Now, this is very, very important because like we talked about in the last segment, yes, everything in regards to manifestation and the law of attraction begins with a thought, in our opinion. However, after we create that thought, right, there's going to be action. But we have to create a thought, and what type of thought is it that we want to create that is going to help us attract more of what it is that we want? And ultimately, when we're creating this thought, or when we are creating something that we want to achieve, we need to make sure that this thing is measurable and that we can measure, right, the progress of what it is going to take for us to achieve it. We can't just say, hey, I want to be this or I want to be that, and not actually set a bar that we are going to want to cross to know that it is that we achieve that thing. So when we are looking at going out there and making sure to focus on the exact thing that we want, it's very important that we can write this specific thing down. We have another video on our channel talking about how you can go out there and build something that we call the legacy board, which is something that we use to basically put all of our goals out for over the next year, focus on them, and ultimately be able to go out there and achieve them. When we're focusing only on those goals that we want to achieve or what it is that we want to attract, it is somewhat magical that we just start walking toward what it is that we want to attract, and the universe starts feeling right the things that we need to attract that thing to us by simply just taking action and walking toward the things that we want. All right, let's talk about number 3, which is all about planning a strategy and taking action on that strategy. We've kind of hinted at the idea of manifestation and the law of attraction begins with a thought, but then it's backed up by what we call actionable activities. So ultimately, yes, we want to build a plan, which talks about what we talked about there in lesson number 2, or in way number 2 we just talked about when it comes to focusing on what it is that we want to achieve. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we build a plan on what it is to get there. This is absolutely perfect for the legacy board because we can use the legacy board to build out smaller steps to reaching the bigger goals that we want to reach that year. But you don't just have to follow the legacy board or do the legacy board. There's many other exercises that you can do. We can journal about this. We can build a planner about this. There's multiple things that we can do, whichever way that you want, whichever way works best for you. That's what I would suggest that you do. But ultimately, what we want to make sure that we do is that we have actionable activities behind the specific thought or the specific goal that we want to reach so that we can go out there every day, get one 1% better every day, take one step toward what we want every day, and ultimately start attracting everything it is that we want. Number 4. Now, I've talked about this a couple of different times in this video when we call the legacy board, and you can go and find that video over there on our channel. But this 4th step is literally all about what that legacy board is all about. And this is called visualization. Now, some people, when they talk about visualization, they're going to talk about thinking something in their head. We believe that you should not only think it in your head, but you should put it on paper. This is specifically what the legacy board is for. By putting it on paper, we're able to then not only have the ideas, visualize what it is that we want, but we're able to tie it back to some of the other ways that we've talked about in this video, have it stare at us right on a piece of paper after writing it down, and ultimately wake up every single day remembering what it is that we're chasing after. It can become very, very easy on our journey to forget the big goals that we're chasing after, especially when we get in the weeds of some of the smaller things that we are working on. So this is a really, really great thing for us to do every single morning, which is to visualize not only what it is that we want, but the type of person that we are needing and wanting to turn into so that we can consistently attract what it is that we want to us every single day. All right, this leads us into number 5, which is something that a lot of people have heard, which is practicing our affirmations. Now, what is an affirmation? Now, people are going to say that practicing positive affirmations is going to be going out there and talking to yourself in a mirror, or is going to be reciting words or lines to yourself that is positive about how awesome you are. Now, granted, these things can work, but ultimately, how can we use affirmations to work with us through the patterns and the things that we are noticing through the other ways that we have? And ultimately, these affirmations can be done really, really well standing in front of our legacy board, or done really, really well standing in front of a mirror. But I think one of the things that we really need to tie back into is ultimately just helping ourselves get into a better state of being by talking to ourselves or having positive affirmations. It usually ties back into helping us put ourselves back into an environment that is going to help us succeed. By using affirmations, those affirmations can help put us into an environment and shield the outside world that is negative, that is trying to seep itself in. So when we look at using positive affirmations, we look at waking up every single morning and yes, thinking about the positive things that we are doing, but specifically having gratitude around the things that are happening really, really well. These positive affirmations keep us in a world of positivity so that, yes, when something does happen, we can always look on the positive side of things, but ultimately so that we can be in a positive mindset toward going and reaching our goal on a daily basis. All right, let's talk about number 6, which is all about being grateful. And we talked a little bit about being grateful there in number 5, so it's a great segue in to number 6. But practicing gratitude on a daily basis is absolutely magical. It's super easy to look at the world around us and to find all of the external things that are happening around us that we cannot control and allow those things to bother us. One of the biggest lessons that I learned on my self-healing journey was that the external is always going to be there. What we have to learn to work on is the internal. And ultimately, there's so many things in our life, whether it's, little things or big things right inside of our life that we can be grateful for. I once heard this quote about, being sorry because I didn't have any shoes until I met someone who didn't have any feet. And that really, really blew my mind when I first heard that quote, because it made me rethink about the problems that I specifically have. If you're watching this, right, there's a good chance that you have something that someone else wants. And it's our job, right, as human beings to be grateful for the things that we have, because by being grateful, this is going to help us put ourselves into a positive mindset, which is going to allow us to attract the things that we want, because ultimately this is going to put us in a positive emotional state, which when we can level up our emotional state, ultimately we are going to be able to attract a lot more things to us. All right, number 7, and the last practice that we're going to talk about in this video when it comes to practicing the laws of attraction is one I'm sure a lot of people do, which is called meditation. Now, ultimately, right, when I first heard meditation, I was about 15 years old. And the first thought that I had was, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to be quiet, I'm going to think about the things that I want, and magically things are going to happen. And ultimately, I know that's probably a thought that a lot of people have. But meditation goes a lot further than that. Meditation allows us to really build space and have a purposeful time, right? Specifically putting ourselves into a state of being. By being inside this state of being, we're able to then basically walk into the reality of what it is that we want. The Cherokee Indians and the Native Americans talked about this a lot. We talk about on our channel about the idea of crossover in one of our manifestation videos. And inside that, what it is that they talk about is ultimately stepping into that reality. Well, manifestation can help us with that as well, because ultimately by manifesting, we can build our own world and step into our own world every single day. Meditating is something that Tiffany and I do every single day. It's very, very important for us because what it does is it allows us to purposely walk through a door of a reality of what it is that we want. We don't just sit there and meditate to music because it helps us feel good. We sit there and use meditation as a tool to attract everything that it is that we want, use it as a tool for the law of attraction so that we can manifest our dreams and manifest what we have on that legacy board. So yes, in this video, we talked about 7 specific things that we can use to go out there and practice the law of attraction. But when we look at these things from a different lens, what are some of the patterns that we have found through these 7 different things that we can use in our lives to help us attract more things that we want even faster? And one of the biggest things that I think we need to look at is that manifestation and the law of attraction starts with a thought. There's many of these ways to practice the law of attraction, but what we find is that really the beginning of the law of attraction is we must think about what it is that we want. We must see it, we must visualize it, and ultimately we must start taking the actionable activities of what it is that we want, and we must start taking those actionable activities to going and getting it every single day. It doesn't stop with a thought. We don't just have a thought and meditate on it and magically everything happens. We take the actionable activities to get right what it is that we want and what it is that we want to attract every single day. We do this through consistency, through discipline, right? It isn't going to all happen in one day. A lot of times this is going to take a series of activities. But a couple of things that we've typically found on this journey is typically we found that we gain a lot of confidence along the way. By going out there and reaching the smaller goals along the way of attracting everything that it is that we want, we've found love in the journey. And ultimately, by falling in love with the journey, we've also learned a lot of lessons that have helped us turn into that new person that we need to become to attract everything that it is that we want. And that confidence goes through the roof. And here's the best part. Once we're able to go out there and start attracting everything that it is that we want, we can then go out there and start creating the infinite impact that the world so desperately needs right now. If you like this video, then make sure to click that subscribe button down there below, as more people can learn about how to attract everything that they want in their life and learning these 7 different ways to practice the law of attraction. And don't forget, if you're looking to start your self-healing journey, we have a free resource for you here at the Life Coach Launch School, which is called our 7-Day Nervous System Reset. We believe that starting a self-healing journey is all about resetting our nervous system so that we can go out there with a blank slate and get all the emotional baggage and fear and stress out of our life so that we can go out there and start manifesting everything that it is that we want. You can click the link right here to go and grab it, or just simply go down there in the description and grab our free 7-Day Nervous System Reset. And we'll see you in the next video.